Hello, hello.
Hello.
Let's go, Sahan. I got a bit of money on this one, so I thought I'd tune in.
Yeah, it's like $50 on the line, guys. No pressure.
Yeah.
It's $15 on the line. Fucking hell.
50.
Oh, 50. Oh, not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean, how's your foot?
Ah, it's fucked.
Yeah. Are you good to race or?
Hey, it's happening. It's gonna happen, mate. I'm out of cricket. I'm fucked for cricket for the next 12 weeks though.
Is your right foot? Are you good to drive? Or?
Yeah, bro. No, man. It's my right foot. It's fucked.
Yeah, fair enough. Any
Bro, my car's still at the train. My car's still at the fucking train station.
Actually?
Yeah, legit. It's been there since Wednesday.
Are you driving today on the sim?
100%.
Oh man, yeah. Any bets against Shahan? Good time to make it. Yeah.
I'd say so too. 100%. It's a good time to make it.
I didn't put Shahan down. I didn't put Shahan down because it'd be insider trading. Some people would know, some people wouldn't.
Nah, that's fair. Fucking. I think I've torn one or two of my tendons in my ankle.
Oh jeez.
We had it was a physical at work, yeah.
Oh, Massey,
so
go to
I was like
waiting lobby. Sorry, go to waiting lobby.
Just fucking around at work, and then literally had to land on one foot, and then I landed bad, and then I felt my foot like snap to the inside of my shin.
What are you doing at work?
Oh fuck! So you failed the medical then?
Everything. I did. I have to go back and do it in 12 weeks.
Oh fuck!
Oh man.
Yeah, man. So this is my
Fucking
life.
you're older.
Yeah, I know, legit. There was a guy opposite me who's like 60, and he's retiring, and I was laughing at him the whole time.
Oh.
On OBS.
A very warm welcome back, everyone, to F1 Lads League. I'm Zabi, and you join us for what has become, without a shadow of a doubt, one of the most continuous and drama-filled weeks in the history of F1 Lads League. We only have 3 rounds to go in the championship now. Anything you gotta fight for, you gotta do it just now. Now, a quick note, we have no official sponsor this weekend. Frankly, with the paddock in its current state of civil war, it's probably for the best. The fallout from the last race weekend has been immense. First, let's look at the standings in the constructors fight. We have been seeing Red Bull dominate from the previous few weekends. Red Bull still leads the championship with 212 points, followed by Mercedes on 186. Ferrari sit third with 143, with McLaren in fourth on 116. After an incredibly strong weekend by Sahan, winning both races last weekend, that was some domination by the McLaren driver that has quite allowed McLaren to get back into the championship fight. In this drivers' championship, Mappa still leads on 151 points, but his dominant advantage has been slashed by Rhoda, is now a threatening second on 105 points. With only 3 rounds to go to after this one, I think Mappa still holds on the advantage, but not far behind is Mercedes driver in second place. With McLaren's Sahan jumping on to third on 99 points, is followed by New EC, Kalpa, Sahan, Sheehan and Aranga. But the story that has completely overshadowed the racing is the extraordinary war of words between Ferrari and the lead steward. A devastating 12-point championship penalty for Mappa last weekend. Vote of no confidence in Sir Michael Massey. The steward fired back, but suspending all further investigations for that weekend in protest. Ferrari then appealed to the committee, accusing the steward of a significant overreach of authority, but the committee ultimately sided with the steward, reinforcing his authority. And adding to the drama, we have breaking news from Red Bull camp. Sahan has suffered a major ankle injury which has significantly hampered his practice. It's unclear how this will affect his performance today, or whether he will even race at all. Luckily for him, there is a 2-week break after this weekend to definitely recover and come back stronger. So with a team racing under protest, a driver carrying a fresh injury, and just 2 race weekends left, every single point is critical. Qualifying is moments away, and you definitely do not want to miss this one.
Already. Sorry, Sabi.
Oh, good. As we now just wait for qualifying, and that is going to be at Brazil, as we're here at Sao Paulo for the sprint race to get started and for us to go through.
Good. Nothing's come up though, has it?
No race stats yet, but the stream's back on.
Okay, well I can't talk to you as soon as the race starts.
And we have cars out on track already, as that's going to be Sheehan in that McLaren out at the moment, as we're hearing news of him finally not having the disability. Aranga to get closer to that pole time of Laforet, and he's going to take pole here in Sao Paulo, and he's going to be starting that race with Mappa in second place and Aranga rounding it off the top three. Very good qualifying for Ferrari as a constructors and as a team to get closer, and only 68 hundredths of a second separating the top two, and that's definitely going to be a fight of the night as we are about to get underway into the sprint race at Brazil. Then Rhoda in P4.
Ah, fuck. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Can you just for today? Can you not use the yeah? Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's all good. Yeah. Thanks
It should
for
be
letting
like
me
that.
know. Good
It
pickup.
basically switches scenes with keyboard buttons sometimes.
We can turn that off. Yeah, we can turn that off. After maybe in the break even. Yeah.
The F6 might be also being used for OBS at that point. Yeah, yeah. You might need to you might need to left click on the game, so it selects the game rather than it's pressing on OBS. And there we go. We're getting started for the sprint race already while sorting out technical issues. That's going to be the McLaren driver already into turn one. Mappa right behind him. In turn two, that's going to be spin, and Laforet's going to be spun around by Mappa, and both the McLaren drivers are bumping into each other, and that is going to be problems as Mappa has already got a 2-second time penalty, and he's fallen back to the bottom as well into P6, and the dreams of a dominant weekend start for Sahan have already been ruined, and he's into the last place of the running cars, currently in P8, and Mappa's right behind him as well. He's going to let him through for spinning him around and making that mistake, and Mappa now finds himself in the last of the running cars with a 2-second time penalty. We've always seen him, known him for some great starts, maybe not quick enough in qualifying, but he'll catch up in those races, but not anymore. Meanwhile, Renault's going to be through on Naranga, but they're going to be fighting still. But the Mercedes driver now leads the Brazilian Grand Prix already at the end of, just before the end of lap 1. Prodigy in P3 with Shahan in P4, still running through his injuries with Nui J in P5. Then Kim Sheehan and Laforet in those McLarens, followed by Mappa in the final place. And there's going to be a chance for Arenga. He's going to try and go on the inside line of the turn one. There was already cars bumping into each other at the race start. Not this time, though. That's just not going to be enough. Oh, in fact, it is going to be enough. Round the outside into the center S's. Into center S's. That was going to be close between the two. Oh, that's going to be the thing going wide. Aranga's going to go super wide. That might allow the Mercedes driver to come back at him as he was, as I was saying, that into the center. It looked like he didn't quite have a chance at it, but maybe that Mercedes made a slight little mistake or just had a snap of oversteer that could have allowed the Ferrari to go through. And today has to be the day when one Ferrari's at the bottom, the other is at the front of the field, really trying to get those points for Ferrari. It's going to be time for some more DRS opening now. In fact, DRS would be enabled at the end of this lap. So into the center S's, we should have the DRS. The drivers would have the DRS to really get that rear wing open. And definitely that's going to be the fight between the two. And already the top two are fighting each other. That's going to be the Mercedes and the Ferrari going around. Meanwhile, Arenga gets that fastest lap. So does Prodigy now in the other Mercedes. Just about enough does Aranga to defend that P1, but that DRS has been enabled, but I'm not sure whether he could get that rear wing open. In fact, yes, he can get that rear wing opening around here, but is he going to be able to defend, though, just at the end of that first sector? Not quite the case around just now.
Big Daddy.
Lap 3 out of 5, 2 DRS zones around here around Sao Paulo, so that's at least now interesting overtaking opportunities, and there's already going to be Rhoda pretty close to Rango on the way, and he's going to go on the inside line. He sends it. The Ferrari ran a little bit wide, and he did not wait one bit, did the Mercedes driver, and he's sent it on the inside line and takes the lead back to himself that he took after the top drivers fight. Meanwhile, the Foret and Mappa, both of them currently find themselves in P6 and 7, just about in the final points positions, with us moving just about to the end of lap 3 and into lap 4 is going to be a time that DRS is going to be enabled on that Ferrari now, and that move is going to be coming up, and he's made that move on the inside line into turn 1. He takes it, but now he's ahead of that section point. He's ahead of Rhoda, and that's going to be Rhoda getting that point. Rhoda getting that DRS. The raving's going to be on that McLaren. On that Mercedes. Another chance for our second place driver. Could be going for that move at the moment. Not a lot of other battles are happening at the moment, apart from Prodigy and New EG, but they're also not close enough. And now the only gap that is within 1 second of each other, or in fact the ones behind are 1 second of each other. We have the gap to leader at the moment. If you have it to interval, that's going to be us able to know whether how much gap each driver has to one another. And we now know that there is still indeed drivers, only those two drivers within 1 second of each other, and Rhoda with 5/10 to Big Daddy, and that's going to be close. It's 2.4 seconds, or in fact 1.7 seconds, and then Mappa and Lafort, Mappa and Shahan are close to each other, but maybe not close enough for a move so far. But could there be a move for the Mercedes driver once more on that Ferrari? Could be on the attack, could try and go for it, but are we going to see them go for it? Not this time, though. But this time is very close. Mercedes driver might just be very close from where he was last lap with the help of that DRS. But is he going to be close enough, though? Because you could be close enough one corner, but when it's the actual time for an overtake, you can't quite do that. And now Sahan has a 2-second time penalty as well. Lafort along with Mappa. They collided at the race start, and now they're colliding in terms of penalties as well. Meanwhile, Mappa is on his way and is right behind Shahan at the moment.
Big Daddy. Nui Rodrigo.
And on the final lap, he might not be able to make that move, but he may be able to make that move, but rather won't be having that position unless all of the drivers behind really, at least Shahan, would need to slow down over 2 seconds for him to allow, and on the inside lane almost sent it Rhoda there, and could have ruined both of their races, just about out of it, and we could well be on the way to see one Ferrari. We couldn't see one dominant Ferrari on that lead of the race, but we see Aranga, and he's going to come home to win the sprint race in Brazil by 1.2 seconds, and that's going to be now Mappa following Shahan to the line. Is this going to be a photo finish? And just about, Mappa doesn't quite go side by side, and Mappa is going to end home in 6th place.
What an E.
Yeah, and that's going to be Sheehan, the final driver, coming over the line, and that marks the end of the sprint race here at Brazil.
Well done, E.
Hey, gee, that's class.
A job well done by some great results for Ranga there. And that Ferrari is at the top of everyone and on that top step of the podium.
Whose corner did you dive into, Mappa?
Nah, I just only got the one stream.
You should be seeing those race results in a moment as well to have the idea of where everybody has finished on at the end of lap 5. Of course, 5 laps of racing, more like a sprint, of course, which is it's called, and these drivers do not wait for things. And that's the thing with 5 laps, you know, if one thing goes wrong for you, you probably not have a lot of time to recover at all.
Quickly go to OBS. Fuck. Settings. Yeah, go. File settings. Got it. And then hotkeys on the left. And then just go find, you'll see the assigned ones when you go down. Yeah, exactly. Just clear them.
Discord's stream-ended as well. Yeah, Discord.
Formation lap on or off? Again.
On. Huh? Yeah, up to 6, yeah. Oh, you got kicked out? Yeah, I mean, it's just blank at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, because
but I'm sure
there's no game.
If you
Or...
open the game up, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yep.
Shit. Click record.
Who else, is everyone else on the stream? Culpa, pick a team.
Oh shit, sorry.
Weird. Okay, I think we're ready to go. You can just use the number keys now, right, Samira? Alright, presume everything's right, Nuiji? I didn't check the lobby.
So I went to the bathroom.
All good.
Yeah. Pause this now, but we'll see in the game.
Looks fine. Alright, good to go.
Yeah.
Right, ready up.
And there we go. We're getting started for the main race now. That's going to be 11 laps of racing at Spa. That should be some good racing action from these drivers. We had a good sprint race there as well, but still sorting out some issues as well. But we should, well, be good to go now and moving towards the sprint race, the feature race, the main race, and it's cloudy in qualifying. I don't think it'll be raining though, of course, only one shot quali, so rather you don't get any time for it to even rain. Either it's raining or either it is not raining at all. But we should be moving towards the qualifying session. It says 25 seconds to the end, but it depends whether everybody is ready up or they are yet to get set up their car. They're yet to select their favorite setup, and we saw Sahan Laforet taking that pole position in that sprint qualifying, in that sprint race qualifying at Brazil, but could not be really converted into a win on an early colliding at the race start. But is that going to be the case here at Spa as well? or we're going to see some things moving and things different around Spa. That's going to be the case. It's a track that's honestly my personal favorite. Spa driving around here is always fun as well, as Shahan is just making their way up through Rouge and ready on now into the first DRS zone of the qualifying session now. They're going to be getting that. Meanwhile, Aranga is at the top of the moment. The man won that sprint in Brazil and could be on the way to challenge for another qualifying for performance here at Spa as well. Of course, these drivers, I mean, as these tracks aren't always mysterious, but if you are not the leader, you get to know the tracks a little bit earlier than one or the other driver. Lafore at the moment, just ahead of everyone, but how far along is that going to be the case? I mean, Lafore, we've always seen be very strong in qualifying, but that other depends if his laps convert or not, because invalidating laps is one way to really stop yourself from doing the best that you would be on the way to do. Meanwhile, Rhoda in P2 at the moment, Mappa P3, and the other Ferrari in 4, with Mercedes in between as well. Mercedes drivers, meanwhile, the Red Bulls have been the quiet performers so far in that sprint race, of course, just were on their own and trying to get as many points as they can in that silence. They can, but he's just going to make his way around the bus stop chicane now. Who's going to nail that though? Mappa's in P2, Laffer's in P1. This could change drastically, but it won't change anything for our pole sitter, as that's not going to be Laffer. Take two pole positions in 2 qualifying sessions. Does it for a second week in a row, and going to be taking pole here at Spa. And that's a statement. One at Brazil was only by 68 milliseconds, but this one is over 5 tenths. That is going to be a statement, really. Now, for it ahead of Mappa in P2, but Rhoda in P3, Prodigy in P4. The 2 Mercedes drivers are locking up that second row. Then it's Shahan in that Red Bull, still trying to perform better with an injury. Some of the drivers, and we now have to be waiting for that race start and for us to get started and go into the racing action here at Spa. That's going to be 11 laps of racing. Those laps might just feel like 11, but the track is quite long and sometimes they can feel like never-ending laps. But as long as there is some great action between the cars, racing between these drivers, the time will pass in no time. As the drivers are ready, we should be having them do the formation lap. Meanwhile, the drivers are doing that formation lap. Let's talk about Ferrari. I mean, you can feel the tension in that Ferrari garage. They're racing under protest, but their team principal Chad is back on the pit wall after his suspension has been ended. Their star driver Mappa has had his championship lead significantly cut by penalties. Can they channel that fury into performance, or will it lead to more mistakes? Considering Mappa, of course, that race really in that sprint race did not go their way at all. Meanwhile, Aranga in this one is in P6 as well, and they've still got time to do it. Stewart's stance, I mean, after the committee backed this decision, Sir Michael Massey authority has never been stronger, but you have to wonder how this will affect the racing. Will the drivers be more cautious, or will they feel they can get away with more, knowing some incident might not be reviewed if a similar situation arises? I've been talking about Mappa at the moment. What's going to be his mindset about his championship points deduction as well? What must be going through his mind at the moment? He was running away with this championship, and now lead is under serious threat due to penalties. This pressure is now immense. He simply cannot afford another run in with the stewards. Shahan's injury, I mean, that's going to be big problems for Red Bull in terms of construction title as well. We're keeping a close eye on Shahan and that Red Bull driving with a severe ankle injuries. An incredible challenge, even braking zone. Every braking zone, every corner will be a test of endurance. A brave performance from him just to be on the grid today. A battle for second with Mampa's lead cut. The fight for second in the Drivers' Championship is Red Hot, Rhoda, Sahan, and Nui G are all in the contention for Rhoda and Sahan. It's
Biggie,
a chance
remember,
to
everyone
hunt
on
down
softs
the
except
leader.
for
For Nui G,
Nui G,
it's a
right at the
redemption
back
arc
on
after a
mediums.
chaotic start to his Red Bull career. It's all going to be considered as we are now just coming about to the end of this formation lap, and every one of them is starting on a set of soft compound tires apart from one driver, and that's going to be Nui G. The only driver, the only brave one, or you have to say a driver that's using different tires. Maybe wants to go for those soft tires towards the end, but I think, as I said, in my personal experience around Spa, especially in those 11-lap races, soft tire is better because in the end, probably you could, go a little bit longer on those medium tires, but then you just don't have enough laps
With the
in
forecast
the
looking
end to
all
catch
clear
back everybody
for the rest of the
on
race.
a set of soft tires to the end. Probably you could be fast, but you wouldn't have enough to catch back everybody. We've got 5 red lights and we go racing here in the Belgian Grand Prix. That's going to be a very good start for Lafayette this time. He already covers up Mappa, but Mappa's not going to go on the inside line this time. We're bumping into him on the previous race, as there's going to be the Ferrari. One of the Ferraris going pretty wide. That's going to be Big Daddy going super wide there. Meanwhile, Lafayette has kept up his lead so far. Just about going up through erosion. Ready on now. These are going to be on the fight and probably all the way. Already Mappa's going to be on its time. And here comes Mappa around the outside. Could well be on the way to take their lead. But is Lafayette going to allow him though, because they're still side by side. They're almost going to make contact, and into the right hander they go. That's going to be Lafayette late on the brakes, and brave enough to brake it later than Mappa and stay ahead in that race lead still. Meanwhile, the two Mercedes are still in P3 and 4 with Rhoda
ERS.
losing out the Blaze and Prodigy gaining one. Big Daddy in P5, despite going super wide. Meanwhile, the Shan and Nui G in P6 and 7. Nui G's gained a place on those medium compound tires, despite Shan being on a set of soft compound tires, as the gap between the top two is already 6/10. And Lafayette could well be moving towards his dominance of performance, is as long as they don't make contact or anything that does not disturb his race so far. And we're moving towards the middle sector now. In fact, into the final sector we are with most of the cars, as we see already a driver getting a penalty, and that's going to be one with Big Daddy having a 2-second or 3-second time penalty, I believe, with
2 seconds, okay.
running super wide, multiple warnings of track limits that should pay, but already getting that penalty on lap 1 is going to be a hard one to swallow. Meanwhile, he's going to be trying to make a move, but Prodigy just doesn't have to defend, or does he? For a moment we could have thought he's going to go for it on the inside line. Indeed he does, on that best stop chicane. Is he going to be enough on the exit though? Does he going to have that more grip or more traction than the Mercedes driver? No, he will not. But in turn one, there's another opportunity to go late on the brakes and go for it. Oh, that was going to be very close, and a little slide of the rear end that's going to allow other drivers to come behind as well. The Red Bull of Nui G and others are going to be super close as well with that. Oh, that's going to be close. They almost made contact. Meanwhile, the switch for the race lead has happened as well, as Mappa taking the lead of the Grand Prix in lap 2 out of 11. Is Lafayette going to come back at him? No, now this is a 3-way fight into turn into the heavy right-handing braking zone. There's going to be a slight little rear end. That's going to be a bit of oversteer for more of a slide for Nui G, and Prodigy still going to be maintaining that ahead of Aranga. Nui G all behind him at the moment, getting this gap between these drivers, 6/10s between the top two. Then not quite sure what's up with Rhoda, but that might be just bugged at this point. The bug the game likes to have for some time, and that's going to be Prodigy 3/10 right behind his teammate. So really now Rhoda is being caught up by everybody as well. So that's going to be in Lafayette at the moment, has the fastest lap of the race at the moment, and 1 minute 44.9. That's the gap. If that's the gap is showing, but of course that's going to be just a bugged out game it is, which we know it always is. So of course not my first time really seeing that, and the DRS has now been enabled. as well. The rear wings will be opening, but not for LaForest, as he's not within 1 second of Mappa. And Mappa really going for a desperation move in that sprint race that ruined both of their races, being a little bit patient in this one, of course. A little bit of endurance race. You could say, of course, for looking for a little bit of endurance, because you know, 5 laps you've got to go for it, make it or break it. But in this one, you can have a little bit of patience and a little bit of resilience before you could go for it. And lap 3 out of 11, he leads the Belgian Grand Prix by over 1.5 seconds. Drivers within 1 second of each other. That's Oranga to Prodigy and Nui G to Big Daddy as well. So that's interesting. So far, we haven't seen any battle for positions at this point. Drivers may just try and stabilize their race, just get on it. And I'm sure as soon as we are see drivers in the pit lane, that's going to be interesting. The drivers should be in by lap 5 or by the end of lap 5 into lap 6. They could be into the pit for a set of meet.
Copperunga 68 is dead.
Well, Sheehan at the back would be spinning around, and yes, indeed, he's spinning. He has spun around, especially this specific part of the track, the curb on the inside line. That's actually a lot much better now, newer games, but on this game, of course, it was a deadly one. If you touch that at high speed and get it a little bit wrong, you could easily have a spin. So that's must have what happened there, as we're into lap 4 now. Into the end of lap 4, so we should be moving towards lap 5 in the pit window. For some drivers could be on, and a position changing could be on for some drivers as well. That's going to be Nui G getting ahead of Big Daddy with the help of that DRS, and on the inside line he comes back at him, but he's going to go super wide and roll onto the runoff area. He's going to try and come back at the track. Actually, he hasn't came back like he should, but not quite sure of the true stink of that as he's rejoined. There was nobody behind him, so he's safe up with that, but correct way of coming back on the track is coming around that sausage curb, not on top of it, and that is going to be times as there is a what happened there? There's a yellow flag up at the front. Meanwhile, it looks like that's a Ferrari of Mappa, and he's got no front wing end plate at all on the right hand side, and that surely means that they might have had an incident. The top two fighting each other could have had problems and could have done bumping into each other. And left for it now, 5.4 seconds ahead of Rhoda in P2. And Mappa's weekends is really so far going from bad to worst after a not good sprint race. He falls back into outside the top 4 in this feature race as well, just ahead of his teammate. He'll look after some recovery, I'm sure, after the pit stops, but as I said, especially around Spa, not a lot of laps. There are, only 11 of them, so it has to be pretty dealt up. Also, more like a sprint as well. You gotta rather just do everything you can. Meanwhile, the McLaren of Sheehan is without a front wing for causing a yellow flag for the second time in the span of 5 laps, as far as I remember it correctly. Shahan is in P7 at the moment. Are we going to see drivers in the pits? And that's going to be Mappa into the pit lane in no surprise. That should be a set of mediums on his car, along with a front wing change for him to get back ready up and into the race recharged. But this fight could be on as well. Ferrari versus Red Bull between Nui G and Big Daddy, or in fact Shahan and Big Daddy. That could be on as Oranga has a penalty as well. And with the help of that DRS opening, rear wing, Shahan's going to be making that move all around the outside. The Ferrari driver maybe for a moment could have thought to go for that move, but no! And he's gone super wide!
Are you boxing this lap, Nui?
Not quite sure what happened. Meanwhile, Sheehan has retired, but that... Safety car is now out, and Sheehan is trembled at the... in fact, I think he might have retired in the pit lane, but something sure happened with Big Daddy as well, and that has caused the safety car to be out here at Spa, and that then sees both the Ferraris at the bottom of the field. And now everybody who did not pit is going to be getting a chance, but Mappa, who did pit just before the safety car is going to be having a good time here because he's pitted and he does not need to pit anymore. So that's going to allow him to gain a few positions. But will he be able to gain a few positions though, because he's still far away from the drivers at this point? Might not be able to take the lead, but if everybody around pits,
Hey, Luigi, are you double stacking?
be able to get it on. And now, Nuigi maybe going for a set of softs or a set of mediums. Unless he's brave enough to go for a set of softs. With the amount of laps remaining. And at this moment, our leader should be out of the pits already. And yes, they are, along with Rhoda and Prodigy, maybe doing a double pit stop. Could be a little bit crucial. And Mappa at the moment, he might just not be able to gain any positions. As far as it stands, two drivers are out of the pit lane. Third should be out as well. Rather depends on how many of them Mappa would be able to get a jump on. At the moment, in P7 is coming to the pits. He's coming into the pits, and everybody has went on a set of medium tires apart from Nui, who's on a set of softs, and Mappa not gaining any position. What's going to be the case for him? And a change of tires, and that's going to be change onto the soft compound tire. That is going to be brave from Mappa, but I think you have to try something when you've got nothing going your way. Obviously, there's going to be a few laps behind the safety car, so that's going to allow him to catch back to the field and, not overuse your tires, not really overrun your tires as well. So that's going to allow him to really have the chance as well to keep at it, and that's going to be a good one.
Is Sheehan all right?
On a set of get a set of some soft tires really to make the most of it when it goes green, when the safety car is into the pit lane. It should be on, and it should well be on his way to get things ready. Safety car still staying out so far. We should be picking it up when it goes green. Or for racing, who's it going to be? Is Lover going to be able to get a good restart of that racing line?
Whoa, hey, Jesus Christ!
Line, the safety car goes in, but still staying out. That's interesting.
Hey, you got damage or not?
Oh, he's got a penalty. Big Daddy's got a penalty for a curved collision, which Jahan probably could have just collided a bit. To probably try and... Oh, what happened there?
Oh,
What's happened there?
Oh.
You run into the
What the hell?
I saw him going into the pit entry, maybe ran into the pit wall, but he came back on the circuit like he was...
Straight to the wall. Oh,
and you're talking about it, and he might have run into that wall inside the pit entry there. As he's going to go wide, Lover is going to go wide, and that might allow Rhoda to take the lead, but definitely that's not going to be allowing him to go through under the safety car, so he should be giving that position back. And two drivers are now out of the Grand Prix. As I was saying, that will Lover be able to get a good restart on Rhoda over that restart, all being on medium tires apart from Nuigi and Mappa being on a set of soft compound tires and going to the end of this race. Prodigy then, the two Mercedes drivers have a good chance as well. Nuigi in P4 has a very good chance on a set of soft tires to probably be on the podium or even win as well. I think victory's not going to be far away from him as well, being in P4, not away from the top three at all, and a good chance to have a go at the race lead with Sean in that Red Bull and the set of mediums as well, with Mappa being our final driver on the grid so far. So now we'll be having a lap 8 restart, unless The safety car wants to stay out one more lap, but I don't think it will be staying out anymore. So lap 8 restart to the end of lap 11. We should be going racing, and we should well be on our way to see this all going fantastic. As we're just coming to the end of that middle sector and moving to the final sector, and as soon as we're into those final few corners, we should get the indication of the safety car coming in this lap. I mean, Rhoda currently being in P2, as you were saying, that map has sure clear of the championship by leading by over 50 points, but definitely not having the weekend so far, at least, unless he's got a good chance to recover, and if he recovers to the top 3, that would be a decent recovery, but if he cannot, or have a race like his teammate, I think that's going to be a great one for Rhoda and Mercedes overall, doing a very good job. A few weeks ago, I think we were talking about silent drivers, silent runners, McLaren problems as well. I think a tough period for McLaren as well. So as the safety car is just coming in, we should be talking about some stuff and green flag as well. If there is no racing, the safety car is now into the pit lane. Is therefore it's going to be on his way to start it. Has he been for it just now, or is he going to go for it on the exit of that final corner? Indeed, yes, he will go on the exit of that final corner. Has he been caught napping? Not so far, though. He should be clear, but meanwhile, Mappa's going to be trying to go around the outside of the Red Bull as well, as he's just about going to be clearing. Oh, that was close. Almost went to the back of that Ferrari, did Chan, but Mappa already overtakes and moves into P5. That safety car restarts, and up through Rouge and ready on we move. Meanwhile, the top 2 are going to be there.
Rhoda, Sahan.
We're going to see Zahan in big pressure from Rhoda. Rhoda definitely wants this win to have his chance in that Driver's Championship. Not this time. He couldn't quite go for it. The gap still stands 4/10, and either offer it's got this gap, or if the challenge of Rhoda is strong enough, they could well be fighting. We could be seeing them fight to the line, flag to the finish line, and flag lap 8 out of 11. Mappa at the moment currently in P5.
About Luigi, 80% ERS.
Behind Nuigi, who's on a set of soft compound tyres as well. Rhoda, Prodigy in P3, but Rhoda in P2 all together. Nobody within 1 second of each other apart from Mappa and Nuigi. The Prodigy, Mappa's going to go wide. Mappa has went wide and onto the grass. Definitely his chances of moving forward in this race are not going any good for him at all. Maybe he made a mistake or something happened there. Not quite sure what exactly happened, but definitely snapped it and went onto the grass to really lose out all that progress. And now Jean's going to be in the back of Mappa as well. And the pressure is really mounting on that Ferrari driver. Is he going to be able to defend his position into the bus stop chicane? Yes, he will be just so far. But that DRS is, of course, not going to be enabled for time being. Could be enabled at the end of lap 9 into lap 10. It might well be, but not at least here right now, because of course we had a safety car restart last lap, and it does not get enabled right away. So the drivers have to drive around without their rear wing for a little bit before it does get enabled. 9/10 the gap, and definitely that has increased between the top 2, and Nuigi's now got a 3-second time penalty. So far, the last two drivers who got a penalty have been out of the race, so Nuigi definitely wouldn't want that at this point. So far, we're waiting for positions. We're waiting for drivers to do their bit and really do the job that they're here to do. But for how long can they keep it, or can they indeed keep it, or there will be some things to look at, some problems that we might be having to say. Things not happening. He's going to go wide. One of the Mercedes has ran super wide. As we're talking about McLaren's tough weekend for us as well. Tough period for them. We have to ask, has their rookie Sheehan finally gotten his internet sorted after his house move, and is not a disabled like a disabled one anymore? But after quite a couple of weeks, McLaren's desperately need both of him and Sahan to be firing on all, but definitely Landers to salvage their season. At the moment, Sheen is already out of this race. Laforet, meanwhile, is on his way and really at the top of the time. DRS is now enabled as well for the final 2 laps. It's going to be on, and everybody within 1 second of each other is going to be having that chance. And New EG is currently in P4, still in P4, trying to get out of that Mercedes driver, not quite able to being able to do that so far. But is that going to be the case as we are here in P4 with lap 10 out of 11, the second last lap of the Grand Prix, and there could be a chance for Newey to go for it, as he's going to go for it this time around already, even before that braking zone. He's going to be overtaking and surging back to that racing line and get ahead of Prodigy, but the 2-second time penalty is definitely not going to be making it easy for him at all, and he might not even be finishing inside that top 5 if he doesn't quite gain a lot of time.
Papa has 10% ERS.
He needs to gain the time, but can he quite gain the time though? Because not a lot of laps are remaining. Only final lap remaining after this one, and sure he's on a set of soft, but of course now 4 laps on those have been done as well. So those tires aren't going to be feeling any better than they did probably 4 laps ago, or a few laps
has 15
prior to this. Sure, I mean the first probably 2 laps. Oh, Mappa went wide once more, almost hit that wall on the outside. It's really not going good for the 2 Ferrari drivers. One of them already out, the other not having a good race, and almost went into the wall. The pressure's really mounting. Meanwhile, he's trying to go for a move, desperate for a position gain. Just about. Not enough. And not
has
able
ERS,
to
6%.
do that at all. Oh, meanwhile, Jean's Red Bull. Oh, Jean's Red Bull was going to be losing that rare. Meanwhile, there has been a position for a moment we could have thought something's happened, and there we go. We saw that Mercedes taking a lead for a little bit, but again, Laforet's going to be back at that and into that race lead. It could still be anybody's now. Is it going to be Rhoda getting to that top step of the podium and taking the race win? Or Laforet going to be taking 2 feature race wins in 2 weekends in a row? It could be anybody's game. Mappa's gaining positions into P4. He jumps on into the top 4 once more, but he's got it to go throughout the lap, and definitely a chance to come back on the podium will be on. In fact, it is in front of his eyes, as long as there's no more mistakes from him, as he those penalties to New EG is going to be a definite joy to Mappa now, because definitely the extra position is going to be his. Meanwhile, that fight for the race lead is still on, and still we could be seeing any one of these drivers to go on to win, because Laforet is sure has been taking that. The gap was over to 1 second for a time. For some time, even after the safety car, but just not enough. Brave mistakes come in, and definitely the pressure really hunts you down, and pressure and nerves are what you want to handle, what you want to keep it calm. Lap 11 out of 11 now. We should be seeing the top 2 drivers making their way to the line. Middle Mappa's going for it as well, but we need to be focusing on a race lead. Middle Mappa's going to be going for it already. They're almost going to be side by side. This is going to be interesting into the bus stop again. Is the replicant driver going to be able to defend his position or no? Because now they're going to be side by side, and everybody's spun. Every single one of them is spun at the moment of the track. Mappa could win! And he's crashed him out! Laforet tried to go into Mappa and crashed him out there! Yes! And here's
Yes! That's P1 P2!
What an end! It's about to
What a race!
Bro, what happened?
Kappa! And what an end there was!
Well done, Kappa.
Nice work, Alpha.
Oh, that was phenomenal.
200
That's a great highlight reel.
Congratulations.
What
And
happened?
these are your race results. Prodigy wins then.
Can you hear me now?
In the end, Rhoda in P2, Mercedes 1-2, Sean on that podium, and New EG in P4, Mappa in P5, and the bottom 3 have retired out of the Grand Prix and DNF.
Jesus.
Oh man.
Hey, Lef, you alright, man? What happened there, bro? Fucking.
I don't know. I kind of probably wigged it into the last little bit. I didn't have a lot of traction coming out, and then I think I don't know if we touched or I just spun, and you spun because of me, and then I fucking crashed into whoever I crashed into when I tried to rejoin.
Mappa.
Oh.
I need to watch the replay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty snap back.
I've got the recording.
On the broadcast, you. On the,
Fuck.
Hey,
Like
why'd you
what
get a
happened?
3-second penalty? Anyway.
I reckon, yeah, I'm not sure. Make contact with left, so.
Because it was literally on that last corner.
I can see.
I
Save your replays.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's saved.
I don't think there was much in that, to be honest. But
Alright.
Nappa, did I hear you?
Yeah, your back your thing.
Oh, fuck.
If I can hit you.
Well, at least
no,
the
gee.
steward's got about a few weeks to look through the footage.
Hey, how did Shahan come third? Fucking hell.
Fuck, hey,
Look like a
fucking disability parking spot.
Yeah. I need to see what happened on that corner. Jeez.
I'm trying to watch the replay right now. It's cooked. There's just cars everywhere.
There's oil on the track.
Oh, laugh cutting across Mappa is probably one of the wildest streets.
you know where to go.
Yeah.
sorry, Mappa. That's my bad. I should have. I thought I was like going to be able to sort of flip it more into the middle of the road, and then that fucking thing didn't turn. Man. All right.
I'll just send through my footage pro bono, I guess.
Yeah, I'll send through my.
Just to I don't know, just to support the cause, I guess.
Should we fuck me. Alright. What happened? In Brazil. Laugh, what happened there, turn one? Got hit in the
Yeah. Got into turn one clean. Had a bit of a touch at the back, got spun, and then actually, probably the worst part of that was, Sheehan ran into me, and then I got wing damage. So it was pretty much done after that. Like had some wing damage as well, so I didn't have any pace. So yeah, just cruised around Brazil. Yeah.
And then how was what happened right at the end at Spa? I mean, obviously you had the pace, and then you'd lost the lead. Mappa had his venture off, and you would have thought you were favourite to win, but then the safety car came out.
Yeah, safety car came out.
Yeah.
And then I thought I had a reasonable restart. I thought I built a little bit of a gap on Rodder, but he had a lot of pace and he kept coming back at me. Probably strategically didn't play that correctly in the end, but yeah. And then the last corner, I outbraked myself a little bit going into the final turn.
Yeah.
And then everything got a bit too close for comfort. Spun out of the last turn, and then unfortunately crashed into Mappa as well.
So was Rodder within 1 second coming into the last turn? Like, was he actually a risk of overtaking you, or?
Yeah, Rodder was what you were like less than half.
I was right behind. I was on your wing, so
yeah. He was
in that
like
last corner, yeah.
3/10, I reckon. Yeah.
And
it was very close.
It was close, and so you think the stewards will have his work cut out this weekend then, both in favour and against you? Or...
Yeah, potentially. I like from my point of view, I'm more disappointed in myself for not getting through that final turn cleaner.
Yeah.
I think I made a couple of errors anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see how that works out.
Fair enough. Well, moving on to Culpa. This your first P1? Is this your first P1?
I don't know, man. I have no idea.
Shit, man. Bet that was unexpected. Did you think you could have held Mapper off into the last corner there? Or did you? Did he overtake? I can't remember.
Nah, you overtook, mate.
You
No,
overtook and
honestly,
then
I
what-
didn't.
Yeah, sorry. What unfolded in front of you
Oh.
after that?
Fuck's fun. I don't know. Saw Nui G spin out, see you spin out, and then I tried to weave my way through, but fucking Nui G, like he always does, was in front. And then,
So you
Next
literally
thing I know-
dodging cars over the line.
of
That's how you
course,
won.
of course. Yeah, of course. I'll admit it, mate.
And
I'm not ashamed of how I won. It just says P1 on the board, mate. Doesn't say fucking how.
Win to win.
Yeah.
win's a win. No, absolutely, win's a win. That's a huge result for the Mercedes team. Did you think you otherwise had the pace? I mean, it looks like you're also make some serious gains on Red Bull. So championship's still on.
Yeah, pretty much, mate. That's what we're after. And I reckon we're almost there.
Well, good stuff, brother. Talk us through your race. How'd you go in Brazil and how'd you go in Spa?
Look, Brazil, I was actually quite disappointed in Brazil. I think, yeah, I had the pace over E, and I definitely choked at the end there. I had plenty of ERS. I would have had DRS going into the finish line. It would have been an amazing finish. I would be processing pretty hard right now, all through to Belgium, if I'd won that. So probably a good thing that I didn't win it. But no, well done to E. He held on, and yeah, he held on to that win. So yeah, really, full credit goes to E for that one. Spa, well, yeah, Spa. I could get good racing from everyone. Really enjoyable track, I guess. Yeah, last corner. I'll admit, I definitely made contact with Laf in that last corner. Not sure who's at fault there. I'll let the steward decide on that one. Ended up with my face in the wall. Thought Laf had it, and then somehow I get out of the wall and Laf's facing me, facing the wrong direction. So I got a 3-second penalty from that as well, somehow. And then I ended up finishing second. But big ups to Culpa, man. Fuck. Oh, excuse my language, but man, what a big win for Culpa. So proud of him. Big win for Mercedes. He's won that one fair and square, so that's what matters. So, yeah, I'll make my trip to the steward's office and see what they say. But amazing stuff from Culpa. Big win for Mercedes. I think it's our first win for the season. So, yeah, really happy about that.
Yeah, might be a stretch to say fair and square, but it's a fair point. Mercedes is definitely on the way back. So talk me through, you only got 2 more weekends to go, with the last one being 3 sprints and a feature race. Mercedes looking like favourites. You're hot on Red Bull's tails. What's the approach here?
I think who's the question for? Sorry.
You.
I think we're probably the most consistent out of all the constructors at the moment. I mean, we're consistently in the podium. At least one of us is in the podium. So we keep that up, and yeah, Red Bull obviously has its struggles. I mean, really well done to Shahan, driving with one leg. Incredible stuff. But yeah, it is what it is, So, and yeah, P1 is P1 for Culpa. Doesn't matter how it eventuated, People made mistakes, and Culpa made the least amount of mistakes in that situation. So yeah, fair and square, mate.
Absolutely. P1 is P1, and moving on to Urunga, your first P1, I believe, as well. How do you feel? How does it feel? I think yours is probably more fair to say that it was more well-deserved than Culpa's. But how do you feel?
Yeah, I think it was just lucky going to Marfa and Leffers. Kind of go on the outside and then hold the nerves and stay in front. Credit to Rodda as well.
Yeah.
Able to get a switch back,
Yeah, I think you're cutting out a bit.
play a
but-
couple of mind games.
Is he cutting out for you guys, or just me?
Yeah, he's cutting out. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries.
Every
Good
second word
stuff.
there.
Good stuff.
If only he
Urunga.
cut out in Brazil, that would have been helpful.
I'm gonna quickly move on to Red Bull now. So Nuiji, Shahan, talk me through your race. Say what it was a podium in Brazil, P3, and then pretty disappointing in Spa. Nuiji.
Yeah, pretty disappointing. Made a lot of errors. Had the time penalty, so I wasn't hopeful that I would, yeah, get a good result. If I didn't make those mistakes, then yeah, probably could have had a much better result. So yeah, can't blame anyone else but myself.
No worries. And Shahan, how's your ankle holding up?
Sore, but it's doing alright, mate. Heat of the moment, so got to deal with it at the time.
Do you think you'll be okay in 2 weeks' time for the final two race weekends?
Yeah, I think I'll be alright. So we should be back to normal then.
Excellent. Well, it's going to be a close one. Who haven't I interviewed? Dylan G. Dylan G. You must be in your front-running driver, making all the mistakes he did this week. How are you feeling for the rest of the season?
Pretty disappointing one there by Mappa. But what can you do? That's racing, isn't it? He was doing well, leading, and then he was at the back, and he had good pace.
Is he muted for everyone?
He dodged a few cars. He could have been right up the top.
I can hear him.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty bad weekend for him. And we've got the two Mercedes team principals. I mean, it's probably a reflection of the fact that they have the most vested team principals. Currently, the two best drivers finishing P1 and P2, very hot on Red Bull's heels. I know I already asked this question to Rodder, but Nuan, Cass, you must be pretty confident quietly going into the last two race weekends that you will take home that big cash prize and more than anything, bragging rights over the rest of the field.
Yep, more than the money, it is the bragging rights. But well done to the drivers today, podium finishers, and big congratulations to Carper taking first as well. Drivers are looking good. Goes to show what happens when constructors believe in their drivers and don't trade them around. It's a good result, and we look forward to the rest of the races.
Well, excellent stuff, guys. Definitely a jam-packed weekend. Oh, actually, Zabby, do you want to do me? Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mappa, yeah. Yeah, so moving towards I mean, we always know you're not one of the fastest in qualifying, but always recover into those races. And you just made that mistake in the turn one in Brazil. I mean, anything could have done different there?
I mean, yeah, I think, yeah, I don't know. It's just turn one. You're just gonna take it easy. And Sahan actually got a really good start, so I should have slowed the car down more, but I couldn't. And I think there was a bit of lag on my screen, so he sort of backed into me, but that's no excuse. I guess another trip to the stewards. I mean, I don't know what the hell took so long. I was trying to get his position back, and it took ages to get back. So that kind of just ruined my race anyway. Yeah. Sheehan ran into you, right, or something?
Yeah, Sheehan ran into me.
I was just waiting, man. I was getting a warning. It's like, get off the track, but it is what it is. I'm hoping the steward takes that into consideration, but looks like a slam dunk penalty coming my way.
All right. I mean, even in the race at Spa for a moment, I mean, you were in the fight for the lead, and then not quite sure what happened. We just saw you spun around in the middle of the track with a damaged front wing. Just take us through there a little bit.
Yeah, I think this ultimately comes down to the lack of practice and handicaps. I mean, I just can't practice battalion wear because I just don't know what the tracks are. And so as soon as the softs go off, I'm still trying to do the pace I'd be practicing at, doing 5 laps. So the softs have gone off, and I couldn't take those, curbs as aggressively as I ordinarily could. But that's, again, no excuse. I should be able to deal with that. And I think Laf was definitely keeping on my toes. I had to go at 100% pace to stay ahead of him. But then, I mean, what unfolded after that was also very chaotic. I thought I was in with a chance once I had a pit stop to get back on the softs. And yeah, I think I climbed my way up to P3, P4 maybe. P3
Yeah,
or P4.
P3, I
but
think. P3.
yeah, especially after Nuiji's penalty. But let's see what the stewards say about the incident. Maybe we can make our way a bit higher up. But fair to say, I mean, I think the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors is now up for grabs going into the last 2 weekends.
Definitely, I think. Sure, maybe not. As you said, not a good weekend for you, but gives you enough time to really regroup and come back stronger for the final 2 races.
That's it. And one final word from Michael Massey. Did you have any gut feelings on some of those incidents? Got it. No worries. A busy week as always. Thank you, everyone.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, boys.
Thanks, boys.
Cheers,
Well done,
guys.
Kalpa.
Great sesh, fellas.
Take it easy.